tell him this. Did he miss? Junior want to not be on my
Hey, welcome to our sports corner. Like Sheyla and I said at the top of the show, we are too much. And one of the parts of our too much is the fact that her and I love sports. Okay. So our sports corner is basically where we talk about some of the trending things that have happened in sports. But, it's self-explanatory. You get it, right? Mm-hmm. And y'all is getting a lot of content from us today. Okay.
Way too much. Oh my God. This is about to be a 2-hour episode and I want to cry.
No, girl, and if y'all watch it through and through, we rock with you for real. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the NBA Finals. As you guys know, at one point, Sheyla and I's team was versing each other. My team beat her team, then my team got beat, and then it was the OKC Thunder and the Indiana Pacers in the finals, right? And they was going tit for tat in every game. There was games that people didn't expect Indiana to win that they won. And there was games that OKC won where we're like, dang, finally you showed up, right? In the end, a winner was announced and OKC won their first ever championship, right? And so one of the things that we want to mention is I think it came to a game 7, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in game 7, they're in OKC. We're seeing all this going back and forth. Shots are being made. It was somewhat close, right? Then Tyrese Haliburton got injured and tore his ACL, I believe, correct?
Yep. Yes. He tore his right Achilles tendon.
Yes, tore his right Achilles tendon, right? So that was like I think it happened like in the second half, I believe. It was kind of early in the game because then when they came back, it was just like, oh, what's going on? And then OKC ultimately ended up winning, right? Mm-hmm. For me, I wasn't really paying attention to the finals like Shayla's mentioned in past episodes. When your team not in it, baby, it's either you're interested because you're like, this ain't my team, or you have no interest because it's not my team. For me, in the beginning, I was like, oh, I want OKC to win. And I should have put a parlay on it because, y'all, I was saying before the season even started that I think the Cavs or OKC was going to win. Mm-hmm. Oh, I could have been a millionaire right now. Oh, you hate to see it. You really hate to see it. But thoughts and prayers to Tyrese Haliburton. This is very sad. Like, I feel like we've seen a lot, especially when it comes to AC tears and stuff, like ACL tears and stuff like that. And it's just like, I saw that the commissioner for the NBA said they're going to use AI to figure out why all these ACLs are being torn and things like that. And it's just like, you hate to see it because now people are going to try and minimize OKC's win and be like, well, Tyrese Haliburton was injured.
That always happens. There's always like
exactly.
This person is.
Exactly. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Tyrese. I know surgery happened and apparently it was a success, and he's on his road to recovery right now. But OKC also did win for the first time, and my Haitian cousin who's on the team, he's been rocking that Haitian flag from the moment they won to the parade, and I'm like, yes, what? Nula, you see this? Yes, this flag bit there.
Ciao. Shout out to Haiti. Shout out to we love seeing our people win. Another thing that happened in the NBA world this week was the 2025 NBA draft. I feel like a lot of people don't watch it unless you're like a really big sports fan, at least like a basketball, or like, let's say your team has the number 1 pick. You want to see who your team is going to get. I watched it because my thing is I'm a very emotional person. I love seeing, when you work hard for something and it finally comes true, like that feeling and emotion can never be replicated, right? And I feel like a lot of people have expressed this, and I think, the NBA, or even just not even the NBA, when you are a top 1% of anything, like if you're working for a top network or a top athlete, a top the percentage of Cinderella stories is like 2%. A lot of the people are Nepo babies, or like a cousin or a brother or someone that was already a part of the league, and they had all the connections and then they made it. Not to minimize their talent, have talent, but the fact that they are related to someone, it made the path a bit easier. We can't lie, that's a fact. And so in this year's, obviously we had those types of situations, but I want to highlight, for me, the one player that got drafted to the Houston Rockets. He is from Uganda, and he like cried, his mom crying, his sister. And to me, that made me so happy because you could tell this is someone that, like, his name is, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, it's Kaman Malouche. He's a South Sudanese player who grew up in Uganda, and he was selected 10th overall in the 2025 NBA draft by the Houston Rockets. And he was traded, or like, trades happen in the midst of the draft. So instead of going to the Houston Rockets, he's going to be going to the Phoenix Suns. But this is him right here. He had played for like NBA Africa. You guys, I don't know if you can see him, but this is him right here. And he was like crying, and I don't know. I just loved it. I love the story. And he was just so emotional. And I feel like you can tell when someone, like, he worked hard for this. And it's very hard to get into the league. And he made it. And I don't know him, but I'm proud of him. And I can't wait to see his journey.
I think, and I'm glad you touched on this. My problem, like, I've never watched the drafts, but I do follow a lot of the sports platforms who post like, this is the person that got drafted, this is that, this and that. And I feel like this year, I've seen a lot of the people post about these draft prospects basically saying, I don't want to go to this team. I don't want to go here. This is not the team for me. I'm not about to go do workouts with this team. Like, I'm basically like, and it's just like, to me, there's a sense of entitlement that's infuriating when it comes to these certain draft picks. Because, like, who do you think you are? There's a process for a reason. There's been a process for years. And somebody on TikTok had mentioned this, is that a lot of these players are not humble enough to understand the opportunity that they have. There's people who play basketball at these parks in different urban areas who play 10 times better than you, but you got the opportunity, and you're going to sit there and tell people that you don't want to go to Utah? You don't want to go to who are you? Mind you, when you get into the league, you're not even going to be half as good as those players. Because you still have to build. I don't know what these college, and I blame NIL deals. I blame that because a lot of these star players for these teams, they think just because they've gotten, I got paid to do this while I was in college. I was picked for this deal. Y'all, that's gone to y'all's heads because now y'all think that y'all bigger than the program. And that's really not the case.
Yeah. So the person that is catching, I don't want to say slack, but is the main person now going viral for this reason is Ace Bailey. He is coming out of Rutgers. This is him right here. And he had made it clear that he didn't want to go to like the Utah Jazz, and like he denied working out for them. And the franchise didn't care. They're like, okay, you don't want to work out for us. We have seen your work. They played during the season. And so they said, we're still going to select you. And now there are reports, this is from Yahoo Sports, that rookie Ace Bailey has not showed up to, like, usually after you get drafted, you're flown out immediately to, meet the franchise and all their players. So as of Friday morning, Bailey had yet to join his new team. According to NJ.com, our sources, that development comes after an unusual draft process in which Bailey declined to work out with individual teams ahead of the draft. And the other side to that is that people are saying that it's probably not Ace himself that's saying, I don't want to work out for this team, because, a lot of these players' dream is to make it to the league. It's probably just the people around him, his agents and his people that want to like push him towards a certain way. But I feel like if that is the truth, it's like it comes to a point where it's like, you are the athlete. You know how hard you work to get here. So don't let other people and what they gotta say dim your light, or like, you already like damaging yourself and you haven't even made it for real. Like, right. If the Utah Jazz is giving you this opportunity, whether you want to be a part of Utah or whatever, just make it there. Get your little tapes in of like you've played in the league. It's easier to pivot once you're in.
And my whole thing is just that it's like there's a process to everything, like I said in the beginning. And for you to show that you are so difficult and you haven't even gotten into the league yet, it puts a bad taste in people's mouth when it comes to you. So even if the Utah Jazz wanted to sit there and be like, we're going to trade him this draft pick for a different one, it's like teams are going to be like, well, he's a little difficult, because now it's like, if you show me that you don't want to be here and you don't have really true star status in the NBA, forget what you did in college. Great, fine, dandy. How you played in college is what brought you to this point. But how you play in the league is going to show a lot more. So to me, it's just like, regardless if people is in your ear or that's truly how you feel, if people are in your ear talking like that, be a man, stand up and say, I worked hard to get into the league, so I'm going to do what I need to do. And if it's you who's thinking that, I need you to get off your high horse and understand you are not bigger than the program. There are players that are 10 times better than you. And the same way that you feel like you're the best thing that could happen, somebody could knock you off that platform at any point. There's always someone who's going to be better than you. So if that is how you think, I need you to understand you're not bigger than the program and to humble yourself.
Yeah. So another thing that happened in the NBA is a lot of NBA trades happened this week. We're not going to go through all of them because there was a lot. They continue to be a lot. In terms of my Celtics, Porzingis is out, and so is Jrue Holiday. I love Jrue Holiday. I wish him the best of luck. I hate that it had to happen, but there's a new CBA, aprons, and when it comes to money, you know, it gets to a point that like you can't afford to pay the extra taxes, and so you gotta let talent that you would really prefer to have on your team, you gotta let them go. And so the Celtics already knew, at least the fans, that like they were gonna have to let go of good pieces. Porzingis was always, you know, he was sick and like he was injured. We wish him the best of luck. The big one that I feel like Rebecca wants to express is Kevin Durant was traded to the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are acquiring Kevin Durant in a trade that sends Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick in the NBA draft, and 5 second-round picks to the Phoenix Suns. So KD is out of the Suns.
The reason why I feel like, for me, I was like, what? Is one, because I mean, we all knew that a trade was going to happen. There have been talks about it since, like, you know, the Suns season didn't go as expected at all, right? So the whole thing for me was the fact that, one, it was apparent, like, Sheyla doesn't believe this to be true, that she thinks that he knew about this, but basically, apparently he found out the news while he was doing like a whole like little media interview type of thing in front of a whole bunch of different fans. Apparently that's when he found out. Sheyla doesn't believe it. Me, I believe the NBA is messy like that it could have happened like that. I think for me, what it is that I think people need to understand, yes, Kevin Durant is a great player, but I don't think that he's the same player that people think that he was when he was with Golden State, when he was with OKC. Like, you know, he's not that player anymore. So I feel like Jalen Green, I think it's Jalen. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, Jalen Green. I feel like when I saw him in the playoffs, he was a very pick and choose type of player. There were some games where he was on, and there was games where it was eviction notice, like lights off, foreclosure. Like there was nothing happening there, right? And so to me, I didn't see that trade as a problem. I just think that they just traded a lot for KD, and I don't see KD as the asset that everybody's making him out to be. Because I feel like a lot of the teams that he's gone to where he's supposed to be that main player, he's supposed to be the person that everything goes through, it's like, it's never that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we'll see what happens. He's still Kevin Durant, and I think, you know, he has something to offer to a team. But after the Luka trade, no trade surprises me. I was so baffled by that trade. That one, and when Karl Anthony Towns went to the Knicks, after I went through that stuff, I'm like, I can't be surprised. But the Luka one was so insane to me. By the way, the Dallas Mavericks got the number 1 pick, which was also like baffling. Hello. But anyways, after that trade, nothing surprises me. And it's NFL season now. Let's wrap up the NBA.
I just wanted to say really quickly, I saw some like potential trade talks that apparently they're trying to trade Mikal Bridges, like my Knicks. I said, I need y'all to be so for real. And I pulled this out just to show you.
Didn't they give so much for that? for him?
Girl, I'm like, why would y'all even don't piss me off for real. And then also people are like saying like they trying to interview all these different coaches. Honestly, I think Mike Brown would be a perfect fit for us. He has a defensive type of mindset, and he give a no nonsense type of coach, right? But I want to give a shout out to Naomi because this was one of my Christmas gifts, my birthday gifts, y'all. Look, when Mikal Bridges blocked Jason Tatum's shot, y'all see that? You love to see it. Woo!
And a point that I do want to make, because we have to wrap her up, we are so over. If you are made it to this part, you are real one. Drop a little water bottle or something with water, because we do need water. We thirsty. We've been talking for hours, literally. So in the size of WNBA, you guys know I do watch the WNBA. A lot has been happening there. But one of the main things is, as we talk about trades and all of this, Indiana Fever waived veteran Dewanna Bonner, who says the team fit, quote, did not work out. Keep in mind, during the offseason, Dewanna Bonner moved from the Connecticut Sun to the Indiana Fever. If you don't know the Indiana Fever, that's the team that, Caitlin Clark is on that team, Malia Boston, all the things. And she was supposed to be that vet presence. She played for a few games, and Dewanna Bonner was kind of saying like she was promised to be a part of the starting five, and then little by little she was not a part of the starting five. And we also don't know what happened internally in the locker room. But the moral of the story is that here's a veteran who usually is not known to be in any type of drama. Like, she's hardworking, she gets her stuff done, and the people are kind of questioning like what happened. The press conferences at the beginning of the season were like, oh, we're so excited, we will have this, and now it's like, you don't want to be a part of the team. Thankfully, it's still really early on in the season, but the fact that she asked like, yeah, I can't be in this team anymore, the people are questioning like, what is happening, what is this? And I'm sure the real story is not gonna come out now. It's gonna take after the fact, like once she retires type thing. But
and my whole thing is like, this is just a recommendation for like WNBA, NBA. I think like we need to start having like these after games have confessionals where like they just say, yeah, I feel like that would be, you want ratings to go up, but
if the players barely want to do post game press conference.
Girl, but if you sat there and did a confessional, especially after the heat of the moment, oh baby.
Child, I'm sorry, I want to go home.
I would pay extra for that content. I'll say that right now.
Okay. Well, the drama definitely, I think the WNBA has way more drama. I don't know if it's because the outside people make it more of a drama because it is women, and like, anything women do, the people amplify. Another thing is the Las Vegas Aces, they were like the it team for like 3 years. Okay. And they have been struggling recently, which in itself is like something that's like shocking. Because I remember I'm a new WNBA fan. And when I first started watching, honestly, I wouldn't even watch any game that was versus the Aces because they would just always win all the time. But it's so funny. Like now the Liberty are kind of sort of doing good. And it's like when it's your team doing all the winning, it's fun. But then when it's not your team, it's like, can you guys stop winning?
Heartache. True heartbreak. Like I tell you, like you was like, dag, I'd rather my man break my heart than my team.
Girl. But anyways, I still love Asia Wilson. She still is that girl despite the record of her team. But yeah, that's that on that.